Good evening. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Jesse Thomas. It's 11:30, and this is your late CTV News. Tonight, air and travel chaos as wicked weather grounds flights at the region's largest airport. And then, winter storm system leaves lots of damage behind, including a list of crashes. And emergency rooms are filling fast as surge in flu cases puts a strain on resources.
Live from our Maritimes News Center, this is CTV News. Here is Jesse Thomas.
Good evening. Air travel is slowly getting back on track today after severe weather forced cancellations and closed the region's largest airport, upending holiday plans for thousands of travelers. CTV's Emma Convey has more from the Halifax Stanfield International Airport.
Flights are moving now that the worst of the weather has subsided. Still, travelers are scrambling. Lineups at terminals, passengers standing around, and departure and arrival boards glowing orange.
Supposed to be going to the Florida Keys, so we're crossing our fingers. We'll get out. We're supposed to be there now.
We're rescheduled for 8:30 tonight, but we had to get out of the hotel.
I got a notice from them 2 days earlier, and they said that I could switch my flight if I wanted because it was very likely that they were going to be canceled or the weather was going to disrupt it. So then there were options for vouchers or to change it for free, so I switched it.
This all comes after Halifax Stanfield International Airport closed its airfield for 10 hours yesterday.
So what we had yesterday occur here at the airport was a significant freezing rain event where we had persistent freezing rain occur at the airport, affecting the airfield and the ability for our crews to stay ahead of that for a number of hours. So the airfield itself closed around 3:30 p.m. yesterday and wasn't able to reopen until just after 1 a.m.
Around 50 cancellations and diversions during the time of the closure. Some diverted flights were sent to the other Atlantic provinces, while others to Toronto and Montreal.
Most of the flights that were planned for the early morning had already either been canceled or were looking at delays as the airlines were trying to understand when the airfield would reopen. So earlier this morning, we saw some flights start to operate. There are flights operating now, but we still have a number of delays and cancellations on the board.
Passengers are, for the most part, understanding of the situation. The last week of the year has been trying for travel, impacted by a series of weather events.
We went to Lululemon.
We got lunch.
And we got lunch.
Taking advantage of the opportunity to visit more of Halifax, and this has been a great...
I'm like having fun here, but I'm like also ready to go out home at the same time.
I think we're just rolling with the punches. Had you seen our hotel this morning? It was a bit of a disaster. Everyone's stir crazy, so we're happy we came here early.
Anxious this morning.
Emma Convey, CTV News.
And police across our viewing region reported a long list of collisions on roads that were icy. At the height of the storm, tens of thousands of Maritimers were without power. And those stormy elements hit Cape Breton today. Freezing rain, snow, and high winds canceled other travel plans as ferry crossings were canceled. CTV's Ryan McDonald has the story.
Some people went to bed last night with an icy mess outside. Others woke up to it after a storm system that brought freezing rain, snow, or rain, depending on where in the Maritimes you live.
Unfortunately, what we've seen this month is just storm system after storm system after storm system.
In Cape Breton, the story today was high winds after rain overnight and early this morning. In what has been an all too familiar theme this December, ferry crossings between North Sydney and Newfoundland were cancelled again today. Tonight's sailings are called off too.
And in the long-range forecast, we're seeing another system moving in later this week.
By this afternoon, here in the Sydney area, the sun was shining again and the pavement was bare on the roads and highways around here. But between 7 a.m. yesterday and 10 a.m. today, RCMP in Nova Scotia say they responded to dozens of accidents all across the province.
Due to the freezing rain and the conditions, we were told, I think there were 93 different collisions across the province.
While the vast majority of those were on mainland Nova Scotia, the Mounties are reminding people of the hazards anytime it gets slick like this.
As you know, there's still some rutting here on some of the highways, the parts that aren't done, and that's causing a problem where people are actually driving in the rut and they're actually driving in what are like little lakes.
So we were excited to see that the wind and rain actually came today and not tomorrow for our New Year's Eve celebration.
Despite today's wind gusts, the setup, including the big Ferris wheel, went ahead today in downtown Sydney for the Cape Breton Regional Municipality's New Year's Eve party planned for tomorrow night.
Overall, it's not too bad for our crews. They're used to setting up in some winds, but the winds have subsided, so it's not impeding in setting up the New Year's Eve celebration.
Meanwhile, Nova Scotia Power says its system held up pretty well in all of this mess, with only a small number of outages, adding that an outage affecting about 15,000 customers last night in the lower Sackville, Bedford and Waverley areas had to do with a piece of equipment at a substation and doesn't appear to have been caused by the weather. Ryan McDonald, CTV News, Sydney.
And in other news, a man recently granted day parole nearly 40 years after killing a New Brunswick police officer has been turned over to American authorities. Anthony Philip Romeo is an American citizen and was serving a life sentence for the 1987 killing of New Brunswick Highway Patrol Constable Emmanuel Aucoin, who was shot and killed during a traffic stop near Fredericton. At the time of that killing, Romeo was already wanted for another murder in New York State. During his trial, a psychiatrist testified that he believed he was being followed by a monster, and he thought Constable Aucoin was that monster. Now, despite being denied full parole in 2012 and again in 2022, the Parole Board of Canada granted Romeo day parole earlier this month, citing his remorse. Now, long-term treatment for mental health issues was also part of it, and a detailed risk management plan. But because Romeo is not a Canadian citizen, Border Services says it's required to remove anyone who is in the country illegally. Constable Aucoin's daughter, Valerie, says the news has been difficult to process.
It is somewhat reassuring to know that he will never be able to come back into Canada, but that doesn't mean he could not reoffend in the States, and I wouldn't want that to happen to anybody or any family down in the States for any reason, so it's unfortunate.
Now in the United States, Romeo is outside Canadian jurisdictions, meaning he is no longer subject to supervision or any conditions that are imposed here. And the Maritimes region and hospitals are seeing a flu flare-up as cases are climbing right across the region, and health officials say this season is proving to be more severe than they expected. CTV's Vanessa Wright has the story.
Flu cases are up nationwide, and inside maritime hospitals, the situation is concerning.
Influenza is definitely something we're starting to see a lot more of over the past couple of weeks in our hospitals in Nova Scotia.
The IWK Health Centre in Halifax is reporting a large increase in the number of children coming to the emergency department with serious flu symptoms.
You know, cough, sore throat, significant muscle ache. So a lot of people feel really, really achy. A lot of people say to me in the emergency department, they almost feel like they've been hit by a bus, right? Like really uncomfortable, as well as significant fever. So those would be kind of the common hallmark symptoms.
Clark says vaccination is still the best form of protection, and that the influenza vaccine prevents 30 to 40% of hospitalizations. Some pharmacies in the region are seeing an uptick in the number of flu shots administered compared to last year.
Our clinics have been full all year, and we've actually seen more flu shots given at our stores than we have in the past. So a little surprised about that.
He calls it a good sign people are getting ahead of the surging illness, which can especially impact those with pre-existing conditions.
It's not just you that you're protecting, it's people around you. You might be healthy and vibrant, but your grandmother, grandfather, or somebody who's going through chemotherapy where their immune system is lower, they need you to be protected.
Families can also protect themselves by maintaining proper hand hygiene, staying home when sick, and wearing a mask. A hope it will slow down growing numbers.
So we expect, as in many years, this will put significant strain on the healthcare system, but also on our patients in general. You know, even if you don't need a hospitalization or an emerge visit for influenza, it's a really uncomfortable illness.
And a Halifax city councillor is telling people to call police if they spot a construction crew at the Dartmouth Cove area. Councillor Sam Austin insists a local developer doesn't have permission to start dumping peritic slate and rock to fill in a strip of shoreline there. It's the latest move in a debate over an area identified for housing construction. Now, a lobby group opposing the work intends to monitor the goings-ons there. It has been fighting to maintain a walking trail along the water. Now, Mayor Andy Fillmore wrote to the province saying there are plans to begin work January 5th.
Get the Maritimes top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
And still to come tonight, Kaylin's here with your full weather forecast. It was a cold and windy day right across the Maritimes. But up next, new hope in the maritime housing market.
We just want somewhere to live forever and our kids to have a yard to play in and preferably their own bedrooms.
We'll look at what the new year has ahead for the housing market and how those who are looking for their first home. Stay with us.
Mornings with Aaron and Peter.
Move family, make plans to spend every morning with us from 5:30 to 10.
We promise to start your day with a smile and feeling great about what's ahead.
And welcome back. There are signs of some stability in the housing market here in the Maritimes, but there's also some hope that stable prices, more choice, and lower interest rates will open up in the real estate market for those first-time homebuyers in the new year. However, that dream remains out of reach for many Maritimers here. CTV's Maria Saru is in Charlottetown with the story.
For islanders dreaming of a place of their own, the gap between wanting a house and affording one can still feel wide. Margaret Campbell and her partner moved back to PEI after living in Halifax, hoping to buy at a better price.
At least we'd own our home and we'd be secure in the knowledge that we're not going to get rent evicted.
Instead, the couple and their 4 kids settled on a rented 3-bedroom, 1-bath house. They've put the dream of buying on hold, saying it's simply not possible, though it's what they want for their family.
We just want somewhere to live forever and our kids to have a yard to play in and preferably their own bedrooms or at least rooms that are big enough to share comfortably. Somewhere that when we're gone, one day, they'll have that.
Numbers released this month by the PEI Real Estate Association show that the benchmark price of a home this November was almost $370,000, down from about $374,000 last November, a drop of roughly 1%.
There's actually quite a high inventory of houses here on Prince Edward Island the past couple of years, really, which will give buyers more of an opportunity to be picky.
Real estate agent Jeff McKay adds, despite that recent cooling, prices overall are still headed up.
It changes small amounts each year. Like you won't see the big jumps. So I think it'll be steady growth, but marginal.
Nationally, British Columbia has the highest home price of around $968,500. New Brunswick has the lowest at $334,000. Homes here on PEI are still well below the national non-seasonally adjusted average price of about $682,000, according to the Canadian Real Estate Association. But for families like Campbell's, buying is still a stretch. Maria Saru, CTV News, Charlottetown.
All right, time for another quick break, but when we return, your complete maritime weather forecast. Kaylin's got all those details after quite a storm. There might be another one coming up soon this week, too. Stay tuned for that. We'll be right back.
CTV Atlanta. News doesn't wait, and neither should you. At home, at work, and on the go, stay connected with a team you can trust anytime, anywhere. CTV Atlantic and ctvatlantic.ca. Watch live on Crave.
And welcome back. Let's go straight to meteorologist Kaylin Mitchell. Kaylin, it's been quite a few days, really, of some wintry weather here with the snow and ice. What's ahead?
Yeah, we don't get much of a break from it either. I mean, first of all, for tonight, there's still areas of Nova Scotia contending with a risk of snow squalls. It includes the southwest of the province up through the Annapolis Valley and areas in and around the Minas Basin. That risk of snow squalls will continue not only tonight, but also into Wednesday morning before the risk of snow squalls gradually diminishes, moving through Wednesday afternoon and into Wednesday evening. Other parts of the Maritimes Maritimes tomorrow, looking at a mix of sun and cloud. The reason why we're getting those snow squalls is because we've got this cold west and southwest wind coming in off of the continent. Still gusty out there tonight, and it's going to be blustery winds for Wednesday. If you were thinking about New Year's Eve plans here in the Maritimes, it does look like it is going to be a cold New Year's Eve this year, one to bundle up for. The wind gusts will be diminishing a little bit as we move through Wednesday evening and Wednesday night, but there'll still be a breeze around. Now, low temperatures in the forecast for tonight for many parts of the Maritimes will be falling into a range of around -6 to -12, even colder than that for some northern and western areas of New Brunswick and some parts of the Atlantic coastline of Nova Scotia with some lows between -2 and -6. Here's a look at the high temperatures in the forecast for tomorrow. In the north of New Brunswick, between around -8 and -13, with central and southern parts of the province with high temperatures between -6 and -10, except around -4 for Campobello and -3 for Grand Manan. Prince Edward Island for tomorrow, your high temperatures between -4 and -9, coldest up west in the province. For Cape Breton, the high temperatures between 0 and -2, and for the north shore of Nova Scotia, mostly between -3 and -5. For the eastern shore, between around 0 and -3. Amherst for tomorrow with a high around -6, -3 for Truro and Enfield, -1 for the city centers Halifax and Dartmouth. But remember, it'll feel colder with that gusty wind. -4 for the Annapolis Valley, and on the south shore of Nova Scotia, the high temperatures between 0 and -3. Now, we have another weather system that's going to be arriving for New Year's Day. So for Thursday, January 1st, it's a quick-moving low that comes out of the Great Lakes region, moves through the northeastern United States, and then rapidly strengthens as it either approaches the southwest of Nova Scotia or possibly travels up through the Bay of Fundy. Now, that means that Nova Scotia will likely see a mixture of snow, ice pellets, and rain from that weather system. There will also be a mix of some precipitation, Charlottetown and east in Prince Edward Island, with the snowiest conditions likely in western Prince Edward Island, as well as eastern areas of New Brunswick and into southern parts of that province, and possibly even around the Fredericton area. Ballparking it right now, the potential of 5 to 15 centimeters of snow for Nova Scotia and eastern PEI. There could be some snowfall amounts, though, that exceed 15 centimeters in parts of western Prince Edward Island, as well as parts of New Brunswick as we move through Thursday night and into Friday morning. So watch for any weather alerts issued for your area. Taking a look at the 7-day forecast for New Brunswick, so snow developing on Thursday, New Year's Day. It's cold in behind that weather system for Friday and through the upcoming weekend. There's a chance of flurries on Monday and sunny for Tuesday of next week. For Nova Scotia in the outlook, coming up on Thursday, a mixture of some snow, some ice pellets, and rain in the forecast. That's followed by flurries, gusty winds on Friday, probably risk of snow squalls on that day. Flurries in the forecast for Saturday, colder temperatures through the weekend, followed by a chance of flurries on Monday. And for Prince Edward Island in the forecast, snow developing during the day on Thursday, followed by flurries in the forecast for Friday. Colder temperatures through the weekend into the start of next week, Monday, with a chance of flurries. Jesse.
All right, thanks for that, Kalen. We'll take a quick TV timeout, but there's more news ahead. Stick around.
The #1 morning show in Halifax. Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Halifax's #1 hit music station. 101.3 Virgin Radio.
And welcome back. While Christmas may be over, the charitable feeling is still being felt here in the Maritimes. And as CTV's Mike Lamb shows us, a couple of Halifax homes known for their incredible light displays are now counting up the dollars that they've raised for charity.
We're at 1748 Rosebank. This is my home. I've been at this for 23 years now. This year's been excellent. Every year has been a little bit more. We've had a lot of people through. It's a lot to put this up, but when it's done, to see the looks on people's faces and the enjoyment, that makes it all kind of worth it. There's QR codes, so we're not quite sure how much we raised this year. SOS is the largest one, and it generates funds for anybody in Nova Scotia. So we've been doing that for several years now. Wonderful people, and we've had a great year this year. Huge amount, like on the order of $34,000. Wow, and thank you. So we've just been doing this. I'm Charlie Brown. My brother Karma's up the street. He does for Food Bank. So it's been great. Yeah, I think the community enjoys it. I think people benefit from it. Christmas is tough for some people, and hopefully this raises a few spirits.
Incredible display, and all for charity. Now, still looking for New Year's plans? Well, if you're in the greater Moncton area, the search is over. CTV's Derek Haggett takes us to the place to be for the big celebration.
The ice is all set for the New Year's Eve Family Fun Fest. It's become a signature event with skating, live music all day long, a Wildcats game, and plenty of activities for kids. It's the 4th annual outdoor-indoor community party, and it keeps getting bigger and bigger.
And it's growing every year, and last year we had approximately 20,000 people here at the peak of the event, so it was quite an afternoon, quite an evening.
Family fireworks at 7 and the grand display to ring in the new year at midnight. There's also a s'more station for the little kids and a beer garden for the grown-ups.
Kodiak Transpo this year are providing free bus service from 5:30 in the afternoon up till midnight, so they'll get you here safely, they'll get you home safely.
For many in Moncton, New Year's Eve means going to see the sold-out Wildcats game.
New Year's Eve, we're coming here to Fun Fest. We're going to the Wildcats game, have reservations at a restaurant nearby, and staying at the hotel across the street.
We're gonna go to the Wildcats.
Come to the Wildcats game, watching some hockey, and then probably watch some fireworks after.
It's also a night to spend quality time with loved ones.
Tomorrow, I will celebrate with my friends, with my family, together, eat a lot.
I'm gonna link up with some friends, you know, celebrate the new year, and just have a good time.
I'm planning to come here with my kids, and also we'll watch the fireworks.
For others, it's a travel day.
We're going to fly back to Alberta in Calgary and spend it with some friends out that way.
We're going to see a hockey game, the regiment against the Sea Dogs in St. John.
Lots to see and do on the biggest party night of the year. Derek Haggett, CTV News, Moncton.
2025 has flown by, and time now for one last break. We've got more news coming up, but not before your wake-up weather. Kaylin's back with all that information you need to know in the morning. Here's a live look at Macadam now, where it's minus 12 degrees. Your wake-up weather's next.
CTV Atlantic, winner of 2 national RTDNA awards, Best Newscast and Breaking News, plus home to 8 regional awards. CTV Atlantic and ctvatlantic.ca. Watch live on Crave.
All right, time now for a quick look at tomorrow's wake-up weather. Kaylin's back with all you need to know ahead of New Year's Eve. Hey, Kaylin.
Hey there, Jesse. So cold start to the day for tomorrow across the Maritime region. Winds won't be as high as they were today, but they'll still be on the blustery side. And for the morning hours, still a risk of snow squalls around the southwest of Nova Scotia, the Annapolis Valley, and in around the Minas Basin. Now, that risk of snow squall should be diminishing gradually as we move through the day on Wednesday. Other parts of the Maritimes on Wednesday with a mix of sun and cloud. Temperatures in the afternoon mostly range from a few degrees to several degrees below the freezing mark. Jesse.
All right, great. Thanks for that, Kaylin. Now, finally, for us tonight, New Brunswick City is asking locals to dig deep for ideas of what to name its fleet of new snowplows. All right, the city of Bathurst is accepting name submissions, now family-friendly, please, no puns included. Local references and clever winter wordplay are all welcome. An online vote will be held in January to choose 3 winning names. In recent years, St. John, Grand Bay, Westfield, Dieppe, and Riverview have all held similar contests. You might remember winning names have ranged from Kevin to Plow, Chicka Plow Plow. Anyways, I don't have anything creative or funny to say for you tonight, except that 2025 has been flying by. If you're watching tonight, thanks for tuning in. You can always find our stories on our website, ctvnewsatlantic.ca. It is your home for news. And I'm filling in for Bruce Frisco. I won't be back tomorrow, but Todd Battis will be here at 6. We hope to see you then, and Happy New Year's to everyone as well. Take care.